Peter Heine, your game against Adam Kozak was a draw. Quite quick in terms of move numbers, but that certainly doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, it was a very strange game. I mean, we were both basically in preparation, and he was going to a line that is known to go into some kind of draw is ending. But he had kind of tricked me, because while he was playing much slower than me, he actually had prepared some very interesting ideas. So he managed to spring this idea on me. It was risky. I didn't notice it because the computer was not saying it was very good, but it's also not very bad. It was very complicated. So, you know, it's one of these games where both plays their preparation, and suddenly, you know, he has been spending 30 minutes, he makes a surprise. I think for 30 minutes, I decided that there is no safe option. I have to play principled. And then he was thinking for 40 to 50 minutes, desperately trying to remember his preparation, because he had prepared it, but not for today, of course, because, well, he doesn't have any info on what I'm going to play, because I don't play anymore. So it was a very sort of typical modern game where you will see two grandmasters staring at the ceiling, desperately trying to remember what was the computer saying. And what he said afterwards, he said that, you know, when he was spending this 40 to 50 minutes, he thought this was the move. But
Are you talking about Queen F3? Or?
Yeah, he played Queen F3, which leads to a kind of drawish position.
It's been almost an hour, 57 minutes.
57 minutes, yeah, he told me 40 minutes, I thought that's too little. And of course, at that point I was extremely nervous in the beginning, because I thought, okay, maybe he just knows how to win. But when, you know, 10 minutes has passed, it's like, probably it's not too bad. 30 minutes has passed, we start thinking, okay, maybe he's blundered, right? But he said that he thought knight d5 was the move, but he couldn't make it work. And in the end, he decided to play this thing safely. My reaction was a little bit underwhelming, and actually, if he had played some better move, he would be at least slightly better in the ending. But I think both of us thought that, okay, you know, it was such a wild game, and to end up suddenly playing a boring ending, that felt, I wouldn't say morally wrong. I was very relieved he didn't do it, but somehow, I mean, there was all this tension, all this calculation, and suddenly to have a very normal game of chess, none of us seemed to be very ready for.
And so a draw was agreed. You just said you barely play chess any longer. How was the experience today? It was an interesting fight.
It is nice. I mean, you know, when you play it's quite interesting, but you're always nervous. I mean, this is a bit of a pity, but I think for chess players, this idea of just playing for fun and relax, it doesn't really well. Of course, also you play for a team in the Bundesliga, you feel quite responsible and such, right? I mean, it seems the match will go well for us, and when you realize that, you would like to add a contribution in that sense. But I would say it's like, it's more fun when you're doing it. Events leading up to is generally quite stressful, I would say. But I'm a bit relieved it's over, but as far as I understand, we play again tomorrow.
We do play again. Well, you play again tomorrow, I'm afraid, to confirm. Today the match, the guys are still playing, what, 4 games still going on?
It is embarrassing. I'm actually not sure what the score is in the match.
2-2.
2-2. Oh, I thought it looked promising for us, right?
It does look very promising. So far all games have ended in draws, but 2 positions
and
are
also,
borderline.
when we stand here with the St. Pauli logo, as far as I understand, it also looks good for the football team.
They are
right?
up 2-0.
2-0.
2-0, yeah. It must be over by now almost, right? Or, we almost got late for the game because we had timed it quite narrowly, but then when we passed by, all the Stuttgart game fans had to be led by police to the stadium, so we were waiting for quite some time there. So we just arrived 1 minute before. So that was a good experience, but of course.
It's eventful when the football team plays in the stadium.
Well, you feel a bit more like a tourist when you start enjoying this rather than being in time for your game. Well, it ended up, hopefully it ends up well for both the teams.
For St. Pauli, for Magnus as well, who is
he's
wrapping up his match.
Yeah, it's a good point that Magnus, well, my main job is being Magnus's coach, so he's playing in London at the moment, and he seems to be leading by 5-6 points, so that's good. I think he was behind at some point, but luckily I was playing, so I
think
didn't
the
find
very
time.
first game, he went down 1-0.
I said 1 point, but
that's the point.
Yeah, it's a short point, but yeah. No, I mean, he's very much the favorite today. Tomorrow he will play either Firusha or Nakamura, which is, they typically have some extremely interesting matches, so that should be great.
Will you be watching that later?
For sure, and I'm afraid also that I will have to help him a little bit prepare, but I'm busy with other things.
I was wondering, there's gonna be a lot of preparing.
There is, but this kind of speed chess, I mean, they play 25 games. It's extremely difficult to prepare for that, to be honest. I mean, you can see they get going, and it feels a bit like a football or tennis match. They try a bit here and there, and they realize, oh, hang on, the guy seems a bit weaker, and they punish like this, and it's very interesting.
Peter Heine, very final question. How do you like our venue this weekend? It was serious loss.
Very much so. I mean, I also praised where we played the last time, but this is quite special. I mean, it's very beautiful surroundings, and it's nice to, most chess players, we might start, but we rarely finish our education, so we don't get to see such a big institution. So that is a great thing. So no, this is really it's a pleasure, and also it's very nice that there are spectators watching.
Yes.
But of course, thanks a lot for allowing us to be here.
So Mr. Basarius on the
yes,
wall
exactly.
over
So
there.
thank you.
Peter, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck tomorrow.
Yep, thank you.